And then the last important factor for making a mashup work is rhythm. And this is the one factor that I can't really teach in a tutorial because rhythm is ultimately going to depend on you and what you want the mix to sound like. But I can give you a couple tips on how to make the rhythm work. So the first thing you can do is listen to the instrumental beforehand and sing the acapella along, or put the tracks together, listen to the instrumental and the acapella together, try to figure out where the discrepancies are, like I was doing earlier when I was changing the tempo. I listened, and then I figured out what the discrepancy was, and then I edited, and then I listened again, and I figured out where the discrepancy was, and then I edited, and then I listened, and I was like, okay, this is good. Another important factor for rhythm is to not be afraid to reorder or cut parts of a verse. So you probably noticed that the acapella is a lot longer than the instrumental, which means that I'm going to end up cutting out some verses in order to make these tracks line up well. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to isolate this track here by clicking the solo button.
Most girls are smart and strong and beautiful. Most girls work hard.
All right, hold on, I went a little bit too far.
You know, some days you feel so good in your own skin.
So that's the part that I want to edit out. So actually, this part right here is where I want it to start again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select here, and I'm going to drag. And select this whole verse. And then let me just listen to make sure that I've got the right.
You know, some days.
Yeah, there you go. And you can make your selections a little bit more precise by just zooming in like this so you can line it up with the edges of the wavelengths. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the delete feature, which you can just do by hitting backspace on your control pad. And now that whole verse has been deleted, and if we put both tracks into play, we can listen to it.
Celebrate your life. Most girls are smart and.
Alright, I think it needs to be a little bit more edited, so I'm just going to cut out this little part here.
Celebrate your life. Most girls are smart and strong and beautiful. Most girls work hard, go far, we are unstoppable.
There we go, that sounds good. And then another part of the verse that I want to delete is right here. I'm just going to delete up until... right there. Oh, that happens sometimes where if you click outside of the selected track, then it removes the selection.
I wanna be like most girls. I wanna be like most girls.
So I think I'm going to delete right here.
Be like some girl.
And then also this little part here.
Be like most girls.
And then another factor to getting a good rhythm that I can demonstrate right here is splitting a track, which you can do by just clicking Control-I or Command-I, and then it splits the track like so. And you can move it to create this little space. And then in order to make this little gap of audio sound a bit better, I'm going to add manual fade. So I'm going to select the end of, or the beginning of this track here, go to Effect, click Fading, and then click Fade In, and that's going to create a manual fade right here so that this transition sounds a little bit better. And I'm also going to create a manual fade out on the end of this track right here. So here, after I unselect it,
Some girl.
it seems to be moved over a bit, but